Greetings, everybody. Midgeman here, just cutting in at the beginning of this episode to say a little bit of an apology, and also to do a little bit of promotion. This current video that you're about to watch, unfortunately, there was a corruption in the editing phase, which I'm currently doing, where we missed the first half of this broadcast, unfortunately, now. Well, it's not the first half, it's about the first hour. All that's missing here is a combat, which takes place following the abrupt discovery of the supposed thieves of the whiskey barrels that the team has been hearing about, which they then set upon. It turned out to be a group of fairy anarchists, and from then they dispatched with and managed to acquire some of the goods, and you'll see this in the rest of the episode. But before we go, I need to do a quick shout out to this. Join us at the Component Cast, where we have launched a new show, Ticonderoga Nights, a noir fantasy setting in a not too dissimilar to our own America, where animal kind characters live in the criminal seedy underbelly of a 1920 urban metropolis. We're playing Urban Jungle, and that you can see every Tuesday at 7:30 BST /GMT. As of next, probably the time you're seeing this. Time zone it. We have links. Enjoy. Without further ado, enjoy the rest of this.
But I do not think we'll be able to carry it. Maybe we fill up the cart, the battle wagon, with whatever we're calling Zep's absolute craziness, and then after that we do not need to be so careful. We could go and tell them about it. We could just move on. It is what it is.
My only concern about having it in the wagon is what if another fire breaks out?
Well, I was thinking, actually, we should probably talk to Zep. This does seem to be pretty noxious and heavily flammable stuff. Could this just be used as a fuel source?
It
would be a very valuable fuel source.
I mean, yes. I'm just saying.
I'm going to say at this point that someone has gone back to get the cart. Just for brevity's sake.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I was going to say that I was probably going to get the cart and follow on behind them.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. that could have happened. So the cart pulls up at this point, with Zep, Braun, and the others in tow.
How many barrels do you think we could fit in the cart?
Assuming these are like full-size, like aged whiskey barrels.
It depends on how you're stacking them, where you're putting them.
And how willing we are to walk.
Yeah, because or stand on the side skirts, or whatever.
Is there any way we can identify the most expensive vintage?
How is your knowledge of local alcohol?
Well,
from this country,
I would say that if any of us, that would be a question for Zep.
I would agree with this. I'm just going to see if I have anything which would be alcohol related, and no. But it is certainly something that guilds would be interested in buying. There's quite a stock here. So even if we do not sell it to the breweries, if we take a sample of it to the next town and say it is here for a fee, although we would need to actually prove that was here. But yeah. The easiest way to sell it would be back to the breweries.
Also, I would point out I might be able to know because Darius is a soldier, technically, and
it's the identifying blank barrels is going to be the issue.
So
they wouldn't have identification on the outside at all.
They have a system that is their own. But it's not like
I see if I can work out what the system is with my incredible intelligence.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
I wanted to ask,
with advantage, Zep, because you went drinking last night.
Yeah, because with Zep and I, we went drinking. Do we think we could recognize, I can't remember what the name of it is, but the very highbrow stuff. Like they showed us the bottle, the glasses and such. The odds, if they mark those barrels with the same symbology.
17.
Well, one of those bars had just barrels stacked behind the guy.
Mm-hmm.
They were just pouring direct from barrels.
So, Zep, you actually find one barrel of the expensive stuff. and if you're calculating it from what the barrel entails compared to what the bottle entails, it's about 1,000 golds worth of alcohol. Then you see, you kind of decipher some of the system, and basically they seem to be marking it down to strength of the liquor. You think it's strength or quality or a mix of both, with whatever this marking system they have. Because they don't have like ink to stamp or brand the barrels. They've been using like a chalk mark system, and some of them have lost some of their chalk markings. But you see this ranges from middle standard alcohol to high standard alcohol. And all of it is a liquor rather than beer, because they wanted to grab the more flammable stuff in this theft.
So my suggestion would be, if we wanted to make the most money out of this, is tell the brewery of what is here and collect a finder's fee for that, and then take the most valuable ourselves and sell it on the road as we progress.
Yeah, there is probably some very high standard barrel. I think Zep's only found one barrel of, and then you've got second highest. You've got about 13 barrels, and then the rest disseminates from medium-ish quality.
We get 14 barrels of this good stuff in the wagon. Especially if I make a few modifications for extra stacking.
I think with your engine, Darcy could possibly handle this. It will not be too much extra weight.
The real problem here is going to be allocation of space for the barrels versus allocation of space for people. You could probably like cover the top in at least 20 barrels, but that would remove the ability to have anyone other than the person looking at the boiler system on the top, which removes like 4 locations for people to sit.
Are we willing to walk one town over in return for a big payday? I am. Especially if I get haste cast on me, because I'm like, oh, please. More of that would be very nice.
We do not have to get rid of it all at one town. If we just sell barrel by barrel, we will make more space as we go along.
We could, give... We don't even need to sell to brewery or we could... There are plenty of inns, pubs, bars, etc. where we could go give the innkeeper a taste. He sees that it is worth good stuff, and then he pay for barrel. I believe that would probably be a trickling moneymaker for a while.
I would agree. This would be the best way of doing it. We would essentially be the middleman. We are wandering merchants. It would also give us cover. We can say that we are whiskey merchants.
I am willing to walk. I mean, this is not a problem.
Another option might be that if we fill the cart up more, at the next town, we walk to next town, and then we pick up more horses at next town.
Or another smaller cart to carry the beer, the whiskey. Yeah.
Normal carts are much cheaper. We would not even need to buy the horses. We could just rent them.
Renting assumes we go back, though.
Possibly. This is a busy, I would imagine, trade route. There are probably transportation and logistics companies along here. We could engage their services for carrying some of the whiskey. If we want to take this as a large enterprise, I am always in favor of having some extra finance.
To make a decision now, I say we take all the highbrow stuff we have. You said there are 14 barrels. We can manage 14 barrels. When we get to the next town, we see what they are all worth. If it is worth our time to make the trip back, then we can do that, keeping in mind that everything else is much lower value.
I disagree based purely on the fact that we are trying to move towards Legerong's land, and we do not know if we are being followed, if we are being chased by people coming from Redbury. So doubling back on ourselves does not seem like the wisest idea. I prefer entirely moving forward.
I wonder if one of the nearby farms has a cart that we could buy from them if we offer enough.
That could certainly help.
There there are things you could try. Is that what you're looking to do? Going to see if you can scout for another cart in a nearby farm?
Yes, I believe that is probably the best idea we've had so far.
Okay.
I would agree.
Whoever is helming that search, give me an investigation check. And if anyone is trained in investigation and wants to help find it, then be all my guest.
I would probably be the one who knows the most about the mechanics of a good working cart.
I will go with you.
You can do the
Can
negotiations.
Yeah. Can I give him advantage on the investigation?
Are you trained in investigation?
Hang on a moment. No.
Then no.
Okay then. Didn't
That
need
would
to.
be a 25.
I'm helping.
You managed to, in fact, it seems to be on this plot of land, like where this old warehouse was. That you come up to like what the main estate of this farm is, and it seems to be a farming, like a collection of tenant farms. But then there's a main farmhouse, where it seems like the one individual family has bought up some tenant farms and like owns the complex now. And you get to the door, and they are willing to part with a cart. They've actually got two, basically the standard book cart that they're willing to part with for 30 gold a pop.
How much money I have? I have a feeling it's not a lot. Yeah, I don't have enough of that.
I can spare the rest of my money for it.
You have 78 gold in the party fund.
I also have 68 gold upon me.
I have 6.
And how much is it for again?
30 per, and they have 2.
Well, I'll pay for both, and then I'll go back and retrieve it from party fund later.
Is there a horse or something we could use to actually pull?
They have the carts. They let's see if they've got horses. They have some horses available. These are single horse carts, and they have a horse each available. But these would be to buy, and they're not as willing to part with them. Yeah, they've got 2 draft horses. That they were.
I am going to try and. Should I try and intimidate them into giving?
No, I have another idea. Considering the extra power that the war wagon has, would it be feasible for me to attach these wagons to the wagon, like trailers?
Possibly could. Yes. You might start burning through more fuel, and you'd need to work up a way to, not have it as one static line, because you'll probably want some flexibility in this, no? For corners.
Yeah, of course, but they have the usual branching pieces. I could put a triangle bracket on the edge with a spike.
With some checks and with some crafting material, and then probably burning through some more fuel, you probably could just make a train.
Then let us do this.
Okay.
Artificers.
I imagine it also makes sounds out of a Disney film. It's
I like how when we started on this, it was like, man, I'm not sure how this could get any more extravagant, and now we're literally just tying more carts to the back of it.
Zep has just invented the railroad.
That's still being pulled by Triceratops.
Yep.
Poor
Well, I am willing
Percy.
to try this. It is exciting for me.
Okay.
I do not need the horses.
You managed to convince the farm to get these to the cart to help you get them down there. But Zep, give me an artifice check.
Okay. Here we go. How did I set this up? Skills, tool proficiency. Ah, god damn it. 10.
This wasn't a hard check. You just meet the DC. You don't know if these will last that long, but you've got them attached and they're flexy.
And how much material did that use?
That used 20.
So
Just 'cause-
we should have enough capacity now to carry more of the barrels.
Yeah,
I just
and
hope that
depending
this
on
works.
how many barrels can you fit in a cart?
That's the cart. I think it in the PHB it's by carries how much carrying weight.
Yeah,
think.
Yeah, it is.
From
how much?
experience, I believe it's
Quite a bit.
depending on the cart. Like if this is just a flatbed cart that has no room for seating, you could probably fit 6 in there.
Yeah.
We can carry 200.
It can carry
Is that the
200
weight of the cart
pounds.
itself?
No, that's the 200. That's
200
Yeah,
pounds. I weigh 200
That's
pounds.
that's the weight of the cart.
That's the weight
not,
of the carts, yeah. So, sorry, the cart via throw, it's a formula, so it's a carry capacity of the animal drawing the vehicle, but in this case, it's the animal and the engine versus the weight of the carts and the people and the load. So, with that in mind, depending on how much to keep the same speed, you're going to be tripling essentially the fuel usage on the wagon.
I would imagine that the money we would make from the sale of these things as we travel will cover the fuel costs, so the coal's
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah. You can probably fit, because of the weight of the liquid, 8 barrels per cart.
And how many in the main one?
Depending on how many, that depends on how many seats you're willing to give up. But if you just want to get rid of the top layer of people seating, what did I say? 14? 13?
I think you said 20 if we give up basically everything with the boiler.
Yeah.
So who absolutely does not want to walk?
I have to be on front to steer Darcy.
Yeah, we will need one on front, we will need one on the boiler, and then each of the carts, I would imagine, has a built-in seat.
Yeah, technically you gain some seats as well.
We should have one person on top as well for lookout.
That's
I
where
agree.
the boiler is. Okay, so if you're keeping the one on top space, well, you can have the 3 on the... Hold on. 2...
This is
It'll
becoming
be-
some serious logistics, I'm sorry.
It'll be
sorry.
slow going to get to the next
4,
town, but it'll be okay.
7.
And
So
hopefully worth it.
you have 7 seats, not including the boiler. And then if you wanted to add the 1 extra on top, you could, at a push, you could probably take 40 of these 50 barrels.
Then let's just take 40 off the 50. We can offload a bunch in the next town.
I agree.
All it takes is one mage throwing a bad firebolt spell at our cart, and it's just all over for all of us.
Ruby,
And for money, I'm
Would you-
willing to take that risk.
Ruby, what is the range of your fireball?
120 feet.
Can you stay
It's actually
125 feet
100.
away?
I
Fireball.
promise I will endeavor not to shoot a fireball at our property.
Fireball is actually 150.
Oh, fireball. Sorry, I thought it was bolt.
Yeah. Firebolt is 120, yes.
If this is truly a problem, do any of us have the ability to nullify the power of magic?
No.
And Ruby just blanches at that thought.
Then it is a risk we will have to take.
Those of us who are about to die.
I
Those
just
of
think
us who are
that
about to get rich. Salute you.
this is a chance for us to make some serious money, which will help us going forward. I do not see this as unacceptable risk.
It will mean that we need to take less jobs on the road as we go, and we will gain back time because of this.
I agree. Let's start loading up.
Okay. So as you guys start to load up and get your wagon train on the road, we're going to take our break here. So we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes time. Guys watching, audience, use this time. Use the bathroom, grab yourself a drink, whatever you need, and we will see you in a moment. Bye-bye now.
Also, go watch the Component Cast on Twitter. Go follow there.
Yes, follow our Twitter for memes.
So anyway, we were talking about other stuff.
Yes, bring us back in. Welcome back to this half of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast.
Where we play D&D, but we actually talk about Warhammer.
Yeah. That feels like a tagline of
A lot.
I missed
if
the
we
Warhammer
ever start our talk show, it's going to have a different tagline like that every week. But welcome back. So in the last half, we had our party ambushed by a group of anarchists who they've then stolen a load of alcohol from. You join us back where the party walks away with about, if my calculations are correct, 12,000 gold's worth of alcohol on a baggage train.
You're welcome. This is like one of those situations where it's like, okay, you've just killed the dragon. How do you get the horde home?
Yeah.
Artificer. That's how.
Willpower.
The first time we were doing this, I heard 1,000. Now you tell me it's 12?
The most expensive barrel is
One barrel
1,000.
was 1,000.
In total, we're carrying 40 barrels out of here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also not mentioned, things we do on the Component Cast is offend the Brits.
Yeah, I mean, it's a...
What even is that?
Even the Brits
Brisk.
are the Brits, let's face it.
Brisk tea.
Lipton, iced tea and lemonade.
Right, but anyway, you begin traveling. Zedaar, I'm going to need an animal handling check at disadvantage.
Poor
We're
Sarah.
gonna lose all our money. We're just gonna
You need
Okay.
a land vehicle as well.
Triceratops
I
is
will
gonna
need the
throw
land
all
vehicle
the.
check as well.
That was almost a 19. Nope, that's a 7.
It is a difficult journey trying to get. It's not even the weight, because the engine is still pulling its weight. It's not like she's like bogged down completely, but she can see the train that she's pulling, and she's not having any of it.
Oh no!
Oh, and that it's.
We
The
just
rest-
drive the cart into the river, and that's it. It just
No.
we just see-
No,
it's
no, no,
washed
no.
on the stream.
It's not quite
Didn't
that
check
bad.
to see if that was supposed to be disadvantage. Because it's an engine, it's not a creature.
It's not at disadvantage, no.
In that
So
case,
that-
that would have been 9 plus 5, so that would be 14.
14. It just means today is very slow going, and whereas if you carried on normally, you possibly would have made it to Hatbury by the end of the day, you're not, and you're going to have to camp somewhere on the road.
It is fine. Darcy is just having trouble with the extra load.
Would it help to give her blinders or something? Like sometimes I know horses have these.
Good luck at catching those to a Triceratops.
I would not think so.
And we will camp here. I can set up the usual tarps
Yep.
with poles.
Yeah, you and Darius's peons have gotten very used to setting up the camp. However, there isn't any sleeping quarters inside today because you've filled it with barrels. So
That's fine. We don't sleep inside. We
it's
pull the
okay.
tarps
Some
out
people-
from the cart and we sleep
yeah,
underneath that.
yeah, some people sleep in the vehicle though as well, just for extra
Leoman's
comfort, like
tiny hut.
okay. Explain.
I've got cool climate control.
Climate control on the.
I
bare
think we
ground.
actually exceed the amount of people that can fit inside that, so some people still have to sleep outside.
Sucks to be
I
you.
will lay out my bedroll in the tent
Mhm.
that we have 3 of and enjoy that.
Well, we don't use those for tents. We park those off the edges of the cart and basically create like a RV scaffolding or
Yeah.
covering.
Can
Yeah.
also make a tent, though we have 3 of them.
Yeah,
yeah,
you could-
there's only two sides of the cart we can put anything on now because there's a train behind it.
I am quite happy sleeping in a tent. It would allow me to keep an eye on the cart as well.
Becoming less and less like a caravan and more of a convoy.
yeah.
I
You
will
guys,
keep an eye on Darcy.
you guys
We
have
gotta
built
keep
a
an
I will
eye
be
battle
out
bus.
inside the hut.
We gotta keep an eye out for those bears.
Your charge, Johanna will sleep in tiny hut if given the chance.
Oh yeah.
She likes the idea of a magical sleepover. That sounds great.
Well,
Ruby
she's
is
been
going to
doing
try
it
to
for the
teach her
past-
some.
She's been doing it for the past 75 years, so
Hey.
True, touche. Destroy my writing like that.
I'm sorry.
It's
Ruby
cool.
is going to try to help teach her some manner of control for her magic again
Okay, give me an arcana.
before they go to
check.
bed. Okay. Arcana. Whoop. Let me get my dice and roll. That's a 9.
Lost my big old tin of. Oh, it's over here. My tin of dice. Also, my camera keeps lagging tonight, and I do not know what's going on. I apologize. I think it's Discord being a bit funny.
From time to time.
Yeah.
Although I think tonight there is one thing Ruby wants to kind of harp on. It is your magic comes from here and kind of points to her head just as much as it comes from here and will point at where her heart would be.
Okay.
If she had one.
Maybe she has two.
The key to being an effective spellcaster is controlling both.
She rolled worse than you. Tonight doesn't
Lesson
go
lost
very
today.
well. Yeah, she's just kind of like enamored by the magical climate-controlled dome that you've built.
It's a nice, cool 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm gonna quickly turn on my AC in case.
I was about to say, it's a bloody good job that I'm resistant to fire.
Not to me or not.
Yeah, it's Discord. It's not my systems. But anyway, AC is on for a little while. So yes, those of you who are who are doing watches, can you break yourselves as a team? Break yourself into watches. It will definitely need more than one person per watch now, considering how big your group is. Should you want to effectively cover the watch? So talking about
We
this
actually
might
need like
yeah.
guard shifts to patrol the entirety of our wagon.
Yeah, I think tonight, before the sun completely sets, it's Ruby and somebody else.
Well, thankfully, we do have a bright lantern that now hangs from. I guess we can switch it to the back of the cart, so it covers everything and illuminates things nice and well. Because my continual flame lantern.
Mm-hmm.
I can
I'll
do a
take the-
watch. Yeah.
I'll take the middle of the night with Braun.
Okay.
I would say if you are in requirement of 8 hours to sleep, you should not be in the middle.
I'll take the end watch with Braun.
We don't need.
I'll take the middle watch.
Okay.
I think Darius takes the last watch because he typically would work with Valmir to cancel out his bad rolls, and then I took the first watch because competence on watch.
Wow.
And also with my rest system that
Wow.
we use, your 8 full 8 hours sleep doesn't have to be contiguous.
Okay.
You can break it up.
Can I potentially, considering I can see like super duper well in the dark, like with that devil sight, can I like get advantage on like being able to see in the dark?
Nope.
No, you just can
When I
see
say
in the
competence,
dark.
I mean more than like a +1 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
A +1 on a terrible roll, it's gonna be fine.
I think we're up first.
We are up first.
So, the first watch, either both roll or one cancel the others out.
I say that and she rolls better than me.
Suck my dick.
So, the first watch goes
No,
relatively...
thank you.
Nothing catches your eye except Ruby, in the because you are so attuned to it naturally. In the very distance, you see the speck of something that could be flames.
Doesn't that happen to be the one that I lit on? Is that about
He's
the same
saying- what
distance
is it?
as?
Is that the equivalent of saying your pyro senses are going off?
Well, is it ahead of us or behind us?
Behind us, where you came from. In fact, it could even be the warehouse where you got all this booze from.
No, wait a minute. I didn't light a fire there.
No, you did not.
All right, I'm back. What is
Roach
going on with Lambert?
Roach reappears and Lambert leaves. It was like Lambert was running away.
Zedaar, I don't claim credit for that one.
No, that wasn't like that when we left.
Hmm.
Going on? What did Ruby do?
You're asleep.
It's
He's probably letting his sleep anyway.
What did Ruby do?
all Ruby for.
Damn that bitch! I hate her.
So those of you on the second watch.
Don't set the boat on fire.
I took that
Those of you
personally.
on the second watch, please give me your rolls.
That's me and you.
Yes. Perception.
I have a +2. Thank you.
I have +4.
You're at disadvantage, Darius. It's the dead of night.
Does the
But
fact that we have a bright lantern kind of illuminating the campsite not
Yeah.
help at all?
And it hasn't happened
it's
before. No,
Ares-
I don't have the second watch. I have the first. I
You
have
weren't
the-
here
the
when they
watch
just
right before
rearranged the watches, so...
It's
No.
the same watch every time because he gets up early in the morning.
So-
Ruby,
It's
and
the last
Zedaar
time.
Ruby and Zedaar have taken the first one. Typically, it's been like Braun and Zep on the second one, and then Valmir and Darius take the third. But we just kind of did
Yeah.
a weird rearrange just now.
Usually Zeb doesn't do one. Braun does it for him.
Zep gets his sleep, bitches.
Does.
Yeah, that gets you sleep.
We should get Johanna up, make her do a watch. Part of the crew.
And
You can
then
set
second,
it.
then I guess I'll go ahead and
Roll again for me.
Part of the ship. Part of the crew. Part of the
And
ship.
whilst
part of
it
the crew.
does illuminate your camp, it's seeing
He's
past
still
your
better than
camp,
me.
which is why it's an issue. It's like you if you stand under a street light, it doesn't help you see into the darkness in front of you. It helps you see the camp around you.
I thought we had like a campfire up too that would give us some decent light, but sure, fine. We didn't.
I guess create
doesn't matter. I rolled an 18.
Yeah. Again, you still see better the person with devil sight. Like, it's...
I'm not used to being out on the road, see.
Yeah, that's
This
the
is
thing. It's
new.
the environment. You're not used
Yeah.
to the above ground.
Look, as soon as we go onto ground, man, I'll be seeing all the fucking things. I'll be like,
Shapes
"Oh,
and
look at that."
colors, Valmir. Shapes and colors. Pretty sure it's like looking. Yeah, like the world is a kaleidoscope for you.
Is this where we learned that Velmir's flaws? He's agoraphobic.
Just hydrophobic.
I love the idea of as soon as we get into the Underdark, all of you roll badly except for Valmir.
Except for him.
Yeah, that would be
Because
great.
half of us can't see.
Yeah, you should all have like super disadvantage.
But no,
Which is like normal disadvantage, but I also laugh at you.
and it,
Already
this part,
happened.
the watch goes fine. Team 3, give me your watch.
Okay, so first of all, Zep, he can't see in the dark. As soon as I find where
For
perception
me-
is, there it is.
By the way, Lambert's camera is not working.
Oh, it's working for
Is
me, but it's slightly lagging. But my camera is also lagging. Discord's having a funny.
Zep got an 18, Braun got
Just
a
say-
8.
Okay.
It's having a funny.
Ze-
Giggity?
Braun is kind of he's just distracted looking at all the barrels. But you look out and you see what seems to be a caravan coming towards you from the direction you're heading. They've set off early, it seems. And again, you see an armored wagon. This time it's not pulled by horses, but by half bird-like, half bestial creatures. Two of them in semi-plate armor. And on the top of this carriage that's coming along, it's like this is the length of like 2 of your war wagons. It's like 2 of them pulled by these bestial bird creatures, and then there is a second one directly behind it, and each of them seems to have a ballista mounted like in the center. It's kind of like half roof, so it's like imagine 2 like buildings that they, and you with your perception actually you notice that they, as they get closer, they look like they could detach, and then in the center there is like a large mounted ballista and guard sort of on it, heavy plate armor. The people driving the caravans also full plate armor, regalia up the side, and you see this symbol.
idea. Ballista on the roof. And it can detach as well. Interesting.
When you say bird creatures, are we talking like feathered dinosaur size? Or are we talking like chocobos?
They've got the head of a bird creature, and the rest is bestial. About the size of a horse.
Oh, okay. Okay, so not just a giant chicken.
No, not just a giant chicken.
Yeah, I feel like I have to clarify because I feel like, do they have wings?
They do not have wings.
Okay.
Maybe demigriffs.
Demi
I'm asleep. I'm asleep. Never mind.
Yeah,
Go
you're
on, yeah, I
Hold
wouldn't
on,
know.
I'll put it in the handout.
For Bretonia, for the lady.
I was thinking more along the lines of what the Empire has, not Bretonia.
Oh. Demigriff
With that
Knight!
symbol. that symbol is like on an emblazoned shield on the side of these metal carriages.
No, I'm just. Never
Are you-
mind.
are you
Simply
doing
watch them
anything?
as they pass,
Okay.
admiring the workmanship of having ballistas on their
Yeah.
wagons.
If
give
you're
me a
interested,
quick
I think
intelligence check.
someone summoned the electric counts.
Give me
And
a
before the
quick
em-
intelligence check.
Play D&D, talk about Warhammer.
Look, I missed the conversation. Gotta get the fix.
We didn't
Gotta be
have
in
one. It
before-
was a joke.
it's
In
a
before the
joke.
I
Emperor
didn't
of the
know
Iranian
that.
Empire is Karl Franz.
That's what's my next
And
character.
now I know why they're rebelling against the bourgeoisie.
Hey, Karl
Talking
Franz
about-
did great, but, you know.
Talking about Warhammer does not have his consent.
Remember, I just realized a revolution would probably be led by the Skaven or something like that. Just like underground.
No, Manfred.
Revolution. Yes.
Give me an
Yes.
intelligence check, Zep.
You know what? I'm going to be very upset to find out that the beginning of the end times was actually us rescuing Johanna. She is the ever chosen.
16.
Congratulations.
You're looking at it as well. Some of the workmanship on this cart seems to be Legerungslander. But this doesn't seem like a Legerungslander vehicle.
Yeah, the heraldry, I guess, is not familiar to me.
No.
Okay. I will simply watch as they trundle on past.
Okay. And it's morning. The night passed uneventfully.
Well, you know.
But
So
the day
last
is yours.
night, a couple more of those wagons went past. These ones very heavily armored, possibly even Lederungslander in craftsmanship, but having a sigil with a big bird on the side.
Did they ask us for identification or try and stop us?
No, they simply rode past.
It doesn't seem like my problem.
I agree. I am simply passing on the information of what
Wow.
happened last night.
Just ignore them, they'll ignore us.
The risk of conflict must be getting greater. They are gathering so many forces.
These were
Good thing
more
they're
heavily
going the
armored
other
than
way.
we had seen before. Even those driving were in full armor plate.
Are they going the same way we're going, or are they going the opposite way we're going?
Opposite way.
Yeah.
Do they perhaps believe that this elven diplomat that tragically lost his life in Redbury was some kind of political action and a precursor to war with
Part of my concern.
something?
Don't
Found
see
me out.
why.
Well, part of my concern is that the Eladrin Empire is looking for any excuse it possibly can to go to war with the Iranian Empire, as far as I understand it. And the sudden demise of an ambassador who carried a very special key to a very special place, suddenly dying and the key missing and the weapon missing, might be cause for alarm. I have a sneaking suspicion that it is the Eladrin Empire that imprisoned Johanna in the first place.
I wonder which side the kingdoms of Nardathel will fall upon this conflict.
Hopefully neither. I don't want to deal with that at all. But I
Why
think
would the Reane Empire want to imprison Johanna?
no, the Eladrin.
You said Reane.
No, she
Is
said
it
Eladrin.
I said Eladrin.
I heard Reane. Never mind. Apologies.
I think the Eladrin Empire prisoner. Yes.
The Eladrin Empire does not harbor any particular good wishes towards Lederung's land. They see us as traitors as we switched sides in the war.
And I think the Reane Empire is justifiably preparing if a war hasn't already been declared, because I can't get any news out of these quaint little towns. Hopefully when we get to the main road, I'll get some better intel.
Well, the ambassador did disappear in Reanian territory.
De jure Reanian territory, not so de facto.
They will be seen as a casus belli.
From what you guys have already learned, actually, the Retbury is very heavily contested between both. The islands, each, like the North and South Island, had an elven and a human colony, essentially, and they've been duking it out over that. It's currently Reanian.
My former home lies beneath the Eladrin Empire. We harbor frosty relations with them, but
So
there's not much more I can tell you about how they see the rest of the world. We mostly kept to ourselves.
as I look at the map of the area again, I can't help but notice there is an area at the border, the little bay above it. It's just called Of Strife.
Oh, yeah, grab that text and just drag it out. That's the Bay of
Well, no,
Strife.
this is the Bay of Strife. I mean, this is on the
Yeah.
one you posted.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just where it's resized.
Okay,
for some
Bay
reason.
of Strife. Okay, cool. Just making sure it was. What's it called? The Of Strife.
Yeah, it's the Bay of Strife.
Either
A
way, I
local
would
name.
certainly. But I think that's part of the reason we should expedite our departure and keep going.
The sooner we get to Braston and the main road, the better.
I've just realized the road that we are on does not lead to the Eladrin Empire at all. It leads to Nardathel.
Well, no, we're going
the
to.
port.
We're on the way from Norwicksey to Hatbury right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize, but all of the armed forces we have seen have been coming from the other direction to Kotchesin. So either they're going on ships there or they're going to Nardathel.
They're going to the boats.
I
'cause
believe.
we saw knights gathering in Kotchesin when we arrived, or Ruby did anyway.
They believe they will be going from the boats to. I mean, if this is what we believe it is, either to Retbury or to the border.
Something is happening soon, and I think we need to get going.
I
So-
would agree.
Let's
Precisely.
gather our party and venture forth.
Onward
Wow.
to Retbury.
Up the
No.
boiler.
Okay.
Ruby will fire up the boiler. Poof!
Be careful with that.
Close out the
Intelligent-
boiler.
Yeah, the boiler catches on fire, igniting the alcohol. You all die.
Give
What? No puppies.
me the same checks from before. So driving disadvantage and
Can I potentially mitigate this by offering cabbages to?
Gishel greens.
see.
Gishel greens.
try, yeah. Or
Yeah.
you thinking cabbage on a fishing rod?
Sure, something like that. I'm sure I could get before we head off. I can get
Oh God.
Zap
If
to
it is,
wrangle
if
something
it
up
is
like
before
that.
we head off, I can use Mage Hand.
Puppy dog, puppy dog, puppy puppy.
Well, I mean, if I just get him to have like some fishing wire on a pole, I can literally just do it. Just do it the entire day.
Yep.
We have an artificer who could probably do that in like 5 seconds flat.
Yep.
Like one of them washing lines that like wires it and it moves across, and then
They
the
are.
wire goes around the top,
For-
and then you attach another one.
For 3 gold of crafting materials, I will let you rig up a cabbage system to negate the disadvantage.
I will do that gladly. It is a chance to flex my skills.
Appeal to. I wouldn't call it Zep's ego, but his desires.
No, it's definitely ego. There is so much. Whoa, 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 whoa.
We have to keep going. The hounds are
So
afoot.
you said that negates disadvantage, so it's a straight roll, right?
Yeah, straight roll.
Alrighty.
Oh,
That's what I
Yes.
Yay!
You
See,
make up for
Darcy,
lost
those are
time
cabbage
today.
fucking cabbages! Let's go!
The cabbages, man. You guys reach Hatbury by about midday if you set off in the morning, and once you've got once you got everything going. Again, very similar sort of locale to Norwicksey. It's a small town with a fortification in the center. There does seem to be a sort of industry here, and you see a big industry for it seems to be that you catch an eye of some of the traders here, and a lot of people are selling cloth here, but selling cloth to businesses. There seems to be importing a lot of cloth from a lot of the local area, as well as some of the walls and stuff. There seems to be a big tailoring industry here.
Well, you know what tailors like a lot of? Alcohol. So we've got a good chance.
Everybody is in favor of alcohol.
I imagine it would be easier to move the less expensive stuff here.
We can try. I am willing to use whatever
there's a high-end
connections I
tailor.
have.
There's a high-end tailor that might have high-end clients. High-end clients might like a high-end liquor.
I will trust the selling to you all. I will stay here and keep an eye on the cart.
I will be changing myself into a human.
Okay. What are you going about your day here in Hatbury?
Zedaar is literally just climbing up on top of the battle wagon and just keeping a patrol, so he has a good eye line on pretty much everything around us.
I'd like to go with somebody to an inn to see if we can get rid of a barrel to one of the locals.
Yes, I will do that, and I also would like to find out some news.
Are we not accosted or questioned, by the way? We roll into town with a Triceratops pulling an armored wagon, pulling multiple wagons of barrels.
There seems to be a load of kids and street urchins kind of looking. But other than that, no. You're on a main trade road. This is kind of normal. The Triceratops, of course, is...
This is normal?
Look, whatever questions are asked about a Triceratops pulling an armored wagon, pulling two other wagons, are answered quite effectively by Triceratops pulling an armored wagon, pulling two other wagons.
We need to just start offering our services as like an armored transport for goods between towns.
But with the amount of stuff, they kind of go, oh, and they see Zedaar on the roof. They're like, traders from afar. Is kind of the whispers through town.
Do we know where in the world the best alcohol is from?
Land,
that would highly depend on your
Obviously,
palate.
it's Atria.
Yeah.
Like, Atria...
Atrium wine is like pretty renowned.
Well,
There's depends
if it's
on the
anything like
booze
real
and
world
where
wine, it doesn't matter. Wine is just wine.
I know.
Wine
I'm
lot
not,
of the-
not asking for what is the best.
the kingdom of
What is
Elthray. There's a lot of
considered
vineyards
as the
there.
best?
Like it depends on your taste. And like the dwarven kingdoms would often say various beers and stouts from various places are there. It's like that's a very amorphous question, Lambert. It's like that's
What would the people of Hatbury think is like, oh, that is very foreign and therefore very expensive whiskey?
Obviously, Lagrand's Land loves their gnomish liquors, and you have here in the Reine Empire. You probably have Norwicksey. It's not. You have Norwicksey that they love their liquors, their whiskeys, and their malts. And we got wines from Atria, and Nardathel has something as well. Everybody has their own local flavor. They're like, no, ours is the best.
Yeah.
It's because what you drink all the time.
Something.
It's what you have access
Oh,
to.
I believe
hold
we
on,
can
I
get a higher price for our barrels of alcohol if we say it is from somewhere other than Norwicksey. Because Norwicksey is only, little bit, a day or two ride down the road. If we say that we have brought this alcohol from Othrey or Nardathel, anywhere else,
But the problem is
So-
they're marked.
I'm
But
going
they
to
weren't,
need
though.
a disadvantaged history check from Valmir. Because, one, Valmir, you're not from the overworld. Two, you it's also down
Cool.
to, do you know what is in these barrels yourself?
I am
To try
proficient in
and-
history.
Well, even so.
Valmir, a few problems with that. We're overburdened. We have to get somewhere quickly.
15.
So 15. Yeah, so you know from what you've heard, like ship talk and just from your own readings and what has been
We
sold
import
to you
lots
from
of
below.
alcohol into Kensec.
Yeah, not from the Reane Empire, because the
it's
Eldrins wouldn't
shit.
let it through. Well, the Eldrins wouldn't let it through. So
Yeah.
you really haven't heard. The closest thing that like you can assess that this alcohol would be closest to is some of the stuff from the Zedaar Maduradin, from the Dwarven kingdoms. It feels like very hard Dwarven liquor. That's what
If we
you
have a
can
really
close to.
hard time unloading this crap, we could just take the shittest liquor we have in a barrel. Get somebody to paint like elixir on it or something like that, and start, snake oil salesman. Just like kind of, we sell part of the barrel. We give them.
Are
Like,
you good aligned?
No.
Okay.
I'm neutral. I think I'm lawful neutral.
Okay, I'm going to go to an inn.
Lawful neutral. That's legal.
Valmir and Ruby are probably going to go to an inn to go sell some booze and collect news. Booze and news.
In that
There
case,
is- there-
Darius, would you wish to accompany me to see if we can make some bigger contracts for selling?
Sure.
There is one inn in town. It's called the Three Hats.
Does this person
We
wear
have
three
two
hats?
hats.
Because of
We
course,
should only have two hats.
'Cause we're in Hatbury.
Uh,
would you say there's an overabundance of haberdasheries here?
There might be.
They do have a lot of cloth.
There might be a hatting industry here.
Ah, the good old days. There's like, what are we gonna call this place? Well, we're gonna make hats here, so let's call it Hatburg.
A real good question. What came first? What's the
industry.
concurrent?
The industry.
Well, typically you don't, you build buildings before you found the town, so
They had to call it something.
The town.
Something on the map.
Okay, so
Or,
let us
it's
go
like,
in.
So you,
I want to. Is the story of Hatbury in the book? Can I read about the pioneer who came here and is like, I just want to make haberdasheries. Haberdasheries.
Yeah, is there a particularly old guy?
okay. So
Hatbury.
give me a history
Is there a
check.
particularly
Let's
old
see.
guy we can get the
No,
we
well,
can get the
you-
information from?
So Zedaar has a book of the Reanian Empire's history,
Natural 20.
and with that natural 20, you find the exact page. You find the exact page.
I mean, Dexter.
Hold on, let me find it.
Oh, he's written it down as well.
Doubt. X to doubt that.
Okay,
Great Reginald Hatperson, the founder
No,
of
no,
Hatbury.
no. Okay, so you found that originally this was a this area started as a local, just a local farming community. There's a couple of small hamlet, and then a pioneering tailor by the name of Archie McRobb went to the
Very obscure
then
bald
Bishop of Agron to petition him for some land to build industry in, and he began his hatting business, and he then got more of a name by designing the mitre for the local bishop. And since then, in the noble courts of the land, his designs became pretty infamous. So Hatbury got a name for itself for developing luxury clothing. And from there, plus being on the trade road, made it have both inland and external routes, and they made money off of selling to merchants going through to pick up alcohol and other trade goods from the coast and bringing it inland. And news began to spread, and Hatbury became the place to buy hats.
Question. This may just be because you were just, giving the exposition. You say infamous? The hats became infamous, or do you mean famous? Were they?
Well,
Were they?
infamous and famous. There's a little bit of a
Dark past in Hatberry?
well, it's not a dark past, but the business has started to decline slightly because a certain nobleman started saying he started getting ill by wearing the McRob hats.
Oh, I hate. I'm gonna give the explanation. Is this one of the situations like the lead polish they were using on the hats to keep them in shape was so like driving him insane because he was getting lead poisoning?
Hey,
Possibly.
Hey, this is very.
topical.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I just posted something about that this morning.
It's not lead. It's mercury.
Mercury, sure.
That and also a certain gang started using their hats.
Is it the Yellow Hat Gang by any chance?
My
There's a
God,
cliff note about it.
PTSD flashbacks to the
Looking
yellow
at this in the
light.
book, and it's like,
A very
it's
large
weird how
entry
that
there,
works
Zedaar.
out. Yes, I was surprised.
It's
to find
weirdly
this much.
large. Yeah, it's weirdly large. There's like 2 full pages in that book.
It is a competent book. I must give it credit.
Wow. It's gotta be
did
what,
everything.
40 pounds? For every
Yeah,
down.
it's a tome. It is a tome, this book. It's like,
It was worth the investment.
I would say so.
like this is a tome the size of Zedaar's shield, probably. But those of you who are going to the 3 hats, we'll start with you.
H. Hatberry.
Well, it's only the Reane Empire, this book. Or
There's
the
only
region
one
of the
town with
Reane.
an H in it.
But even so. Those of you going to the 3 hats, the inn. Who's going?
Myself and Ruby, I think.
Ruby and Valmir. Okay. You enter the inn, and it's just kind of your standard inn. They have an ornately painted sign outside of essentially 3 top hats, like sort of, but they're being used as like a shell game.
Sure.
In the image, just as they are, and you go in, and there is a dwarven gentleman behind the bar, and a few commoners in the inn itself.
Well, Valmir, what do you look like right now? Please do not say Ruby's brother.
No, a particularly well-to-do human noble, like a merchant, noble merchant.
So, Valmir, would you like to get the news or sell the booze?
I would like to sell the booze. I would like money. I like money.
Very well. I will go collect the news from the gambling people.
Okay, we'll start with Valmir then. So Valmir, you go over to the innkeep.
Oh, Valmir, be sure to mention that there's a lot of soldiers passing through, and they're going to be thirsty.
That is very good. This is why I brought you all for the ideas. I'll walk up to the innkeep.
Okay.
Hello, good sir. Am I right in assuming that you are the perpetrator of this establishment?
I'm the proprietor.
Proprietor?
Yeah.
Precisely. That is exactly what I meant. Totally intentional, by the way.
There is Ruby is now doing a Valmir facepalm.
Well, I am a merchant, and sorry, my common is not exactly the best. I come from overseas, you see. And I have brought with me some alcohol from all over this continent and beyond. And I am wondering if it is in your interest that you purchase some of the alcohol that I have, mostly hard liquors, whiskeys, etc. Perhaps something that may interest you is that there are quite a lot of soldiers coming through here now. There is a call to arms, it seems, bringing many men from the east to the west, and they would be coming through Hatbury. And soldiers tend to be very thirsty.
Well, Master Trader, soldiers are indeed very thirsty, but you say you sell hard liquor. It's mighty hard to get that from a trade on a infantryman's wage, especially one that might be levied. I have a curiosity to you. When you say these are from far away, I myself am from far away, and I'm curious about your accent. I feel like I've heard it before.
Wow, that's so. Well, as I said, I am not from the Reanian Empire. Originally, I am from the Eledrin. But let's just
say that out loud.
Quietly. But as you can perhaps understand, our kind is not particularly welcome there.
Card and fettered. It's gonna happen.
Give me a
They have
persuasion check
they
at
have no
disadvantage.
love for me. What was this advantage?
Disadvantage, persuasion check.
Balls.
Not deception?
No. He said it already. Shush. It's fine.
No, it's not deception because he said he's from the Elendor
Hello,
Empire.
simple barkeep in the United Kingdom. I am a German trader in 1944. Would you like to buy my wares?
I would like to sell alcohol to your troops. So, I rolled a natural 20, but it's only a +2. So you do beat it with a 25. Because you rolled 2 18s.
You manage that.
Literally shaking.
He says, and he takes you to a back room where he's like,
I have not lived there
I
for
would-
many years.
Don't, just don't. Just stop you right there. If you want to go far, don't mention where you're from. I thought you were from the Principality of Korzak, but that...
As you can see, I'm being honest with you.
I might be interested in a few of as long as you've got the accurate bills of sale, I'll be happy to buy them. 1 or 2 barrels is most as I can get away with.
We can draw up some bills of sale. That is...
Oh, Jesus, you don't even know. Did you steal these barrels?
Of course not. They just have come from very far away.
And they didn't give you bills of sale? Did you produce these yourself? Like, what did the brewery give you?
We procured them very far away, illegally.
These...
Don't worry, it's well out of your jurisdiction.
They were passed along to us without the bills of sale attached.
Right. And, you know, the whole missing booze from the local area isn't coming into this at any point, yeah?
Not at all.
Right. What is it that you actually have? And I will see what I can do. I might have to say, though, if I'm taking hot goods, you won't be getting a full price out of me.
That is entirely fair.
I know it is. You're lucky that I'm not turning you into the local constabulary. So, what have you got?
Many different types of alcohol, whiskies, and other hard liquor. I do not partake of the goods that I
Are
am
you
selling.
even an alcohol trader? Like, do you know what you got?
Surely if somebody's selling alcohol, they become alcohol
Do
traders.
I hear any of what's going on?
No, he brought me into the back room.
Yeah, give me a perception check. It was
I
a hard
think
day.
everybody's ears are burning. Oh God, something bad's happening.
I'm very bad at this.
I made my first mistake was leaving Valmir alone.
I mean, he beat the check to keep this going. Don't shoot him down now. It's just
I don't hear shit.
you don't hear
Keeps going.
shit.
Now, okay, you may be a German spy trying to sell things over the border, but at least it's not illegal, right? Right?
Oh man. I'm so bummed.
It's just full of face bombs.
There's too much trust. Too much truth.
I left him on his own.
Okay.
I'm so
Would you
sorry,
like-
Charge.
Would you like to come with me? We will. You can have a
You're
taste
just
of the
keeping this
wares.
outside. Yeah, actually, all right. I'll come outside. Show me.
I'm going to bring him to the inn front where Ruby is, and ask her to come with also.
Okay.
Because I have learned my lesson.
In the meanwhile, what
Yes.
would Ruby have been?
Give me either a perception check, or if you're just earwagging, or if you're actually going into conversation.
She'd be bending ears and pulling conversations. Yeah.
Oh, you'd be trying to actually talk. Give me just a persuasion check. See what you can get out of people.
15.
Well, there seems to be a lot going on at the moment. We've seen a lot of the different Huskarls from across the Empire coming through, trying to get to the boats pretty quickly. Some of them are taking the main trade road down to the Cullis marshlands, but some of them are taking boats, and we haven't really been stopping. But
Has there
what
been a
I
call
hear,
to
it's
arms
about
put out?
no, nothing. It happens from time to time. I think tension's a bit high, with that pointy ear ambassador technically dying on Reanian soil, but they're claiming it's not Reanian, but I think it's probably Reanian. I mean, who would want a pointy ear on our soil after all? So, things are a bit high at the moment. They're just getting men to the border. It's happening. We haven't had the call to feud yet, which is really good, isn't it, Harold? Right. But yeah, that's happening.
Well, it's good to. Oh, excuse me.
I also heard that one of the seaside towns got attacked by some druid insurrectionists. Again, recently, burnt down the tree in the middle of the village.
It's unfortunate to hear.
Good thing
Other
we had
than
nothing to do with that.
No, the local garrisons have been called.
One would think the druids would have learned their lesson. The last 5,000 years they've been burnt out.
Exactly, and it's just going to be a systematic cutting down of the forest again until they find their home. Anyway, everything should be fine.
I don't know. Oh, excuse me, and she'll get up to follow.
Oh.
Gentlemen, is everything all right?
Hello, this is my associate. We are a party. We are together. She'll be accompanying us to sample the wares.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, a great deal of effort to acquire them.
Mm-hmm. Just take me to the booze.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Sorry, are you selling me a newspaper now?
There's this really old comic that used to be in a newspaper. It was a bald guy with his two friends, and they get into all sorts of shenanigans.
Guess
I
what?
may be showing my
bring in-
age, but
just-
people don't know the Three Stooges.
Oh, I thought you just Ruby starts shouting, "Fuck you, Mr. Pulitzer." But okay, you take the barkeeper to his room, and you say you're selling all of these, yeah?
Yes.
We are.
So, okay. Right, just as I thought. I'll take 3 barrels of the one with the 2 X's on for 500 gold.
Done.
That is a deal.
I'm assuming we just got ripped off, but hey, you know.
Zep, what was the really expensive booze? The one with the 2 X's on it? The one that's worth a lot?
I believe so. Yeah, that is the one that we kind of want to save for the
So
biggest market.
Zedaar knows specifically which one is the Norwicksey gold, and he would not let that go for less than what it's worth.
Yeah, that's it's not the Norwicksey gold that this guy has bought. He has bought the lower end of the higher tier, from what you can tell.
Which, considering Zedaar, we don't know the actual price and the rest of this. We know the barrel's worth 1,000. We didn't know the rest, but
Yep.
Zedaar, who was sitting around the barrel, so he would be aware of this, wouldn't oppose this being done. That seems like a really good price for 2 barrels, honestly.
3 barrels.
Our fencing
apologies.
stolen good.
3 barrels.
They're not technically stolen by us, though.
They are legally definitionally stolen. Yes.
No, because we were
not the owners of
No, we were told by the brewers that we could keep what we find.
Yeah, but did you go back?
We're in full legal possession of these.
We haven't confirmed that. We don't know anything about the Red Uprising that was stolen. We just don't. We are thieves that stole from thieves.
No,
It doesn't. I mean,
we are.
So this-
we
I'm
are
not
legal.
saying
We
it-
are fully
morally
legal.
we're okay. Morally
No,
we're
legally,
okay.
legally we're okay.
In fact, you stole
We
from the
did
revolution,
have-
and depending on what happens here, that could go badly.
There's one revolutionary left. What do you think's gonna happen?
Of that cell.
And that
Zedaar
one cell
He's
is
going to make a note
full of
that
depression now.
at the end of the day, he's going to send a message to that guy back in Norwicksey and be like, so yeah, we found your booze. We stopped the individual stealing it, and we have taken what is left. And then it would take another spell, but depending on what we have, he won't tell him where it is because it would take so many words. But he will make him aware that, yes, we did stop the crime and claim some of the barrels.
Okay.
Because I can do that. 'Cause sending is a spell.
Mm-hmm.
You ever meet the guy? I thought that was just Ruby that got the
I
information.
did speak with him specifically.
No, it did Zedaar met first, technically.
I went out of my way to talk to him just for that reason.
Yeah.
Hey.
But yep, okay. He buys the barrels, offloads them, and is just like, he brings you aside, Valmir, and he goes, I wouldn't stay in town too long. Actual alcohol merchants come through here quite a lot. Ta! And takes the barrels inside, gets 2 of his helpers to offload.
Well, it's 2 out of our 40 barrels. We have a little bit more to do.
3.
Three.
Can you put in the party sheet 37 barrels of alcohol?
Yeah, I will break it down as well.
Plus the gold. that
1
you just
barrel of
got.
Norwicksey gold. We now have 10 barrels of high grade and then 26 barrels of medium grade.
What we need is a
You'd
fence.
think the revolutionaries would have just gotten like the really shittest, most concentrated alcohol they could, and just use that instead of the high grade stuff, which may not necessarily be as flammable.
I don't think Norwicksey was shipping moonshine.
That's another point. Why didn't they make it? They had access to fields with grain.
Effort.
Because he was a student and not a serf, so he had no clue what he was doing.
Not everybody there was a student, I hope. I hope.
Just a bunch of guys that are taking up the cause for these farmers.
It was a
out in the
theater
fields.
troupe or something. It was. They got really good with
This is
stage
really
weapons.
cool as shit. It's the guys in the field. Spent all day making barley to make booze, and they don't even get enough to drink it. Bullshit. Take down it. Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
23,
not what the-
24.
No, that was not the right word, but that was part of the joke. Was just these guys shouting things constantly.
Surprised they didn't start yelling, "Break the chain!"
You have
Didn't
nothing
live
to
long
lose
enough.
but those things.
This is the poison that keeps... Sorry, I'm gonna stop this.
Do you sell those? He shifts them inside. Now, Zep and Darius, what are you guys doing?
We were going to try and find
The
Sorry, we can-
swankiest tailor. The swankiest, highest class tailor we can find. Because if there's one thing I know about really high end tailors / dress shops and things like that, they have alcohol on hand. That goes to their.
So
that goes-
you find essentially an entire block of this town is one. It seems to be factory and tailor. It just says, hat retailer, finest hats in the entire Reane.
Does it actually look like that's true, or is that more of a tagline that they're?
No, it's a really
They're
bespoke
co-opting.
shop in the front.
Okay. Is it just hats? Is it just?
It doesn't seem to be just hats. But they are
It's not just a
selling.
haberdashery, like a really fancy haberdashery.
No, it seems to be a tailor's as well. They seem to do, but there are some marvelous hats. And Braun looks at these like, wow, there's some serious hattage
Oh,
here.
wait. That's
Braun
just
has a
one way of
thing for hats.
accessorizing. Well, it's just one way of accessorizing. He can't really wear clothes because
He
he's
does.
metal and
He does.
humongous.
Oh, it's just
But
the
yeah,
same as
he'd
a
have to get a
Dragonborn
special-
wearing clothes.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. He's just about
Fancy worlds are used to making very. It's not like there's a Primark in D&D was. Although there will be eventually where it's just you go, oh my gosh, that's a modern thing for modern D&D and fantasy worlds is instead of being like like when you go into a department store and they have like first floor is men's clothes, second floor is female. It's gonna be first floor is gnome and halfling, second floor is like in terms of they're gonna have to do it by size of species. But anyway, that actually works for a sci-fi setting anyway. But you go inside and there is really quiet little shop. Wooden floors, wood-cladded like sort of shelving. It's like polished, beautifully carpented room with bespoke suits and clothing. It seems to be mainly aimed at men. The clothing in here, or at least
Ron
in
and I
this
are
shop.
wearing our Swish clothes, by the way.
Okay, sure thing.
I'm already
And-
fancy enough.
and then a gentleman in he seems to be in traditional like Sondheim lower garb, but a bespoke suit like on the upper half. It seems to be he looks up from his book and goes, "Oh, hey, welcome to the hat retailer. How can I help you?"
First thing, Midge, can I have a long rest? Because we didn't get a long
Oh,
rest.
sure. I will get that going. Oops.
Oh, turn Anarchus too. Following us. Our spirits.
I will never leave you, Darius. Not until you break the chain.
Apparently, my Eldritch Blast sends you to the Ghost Realm where you can continue talking to Darius.
It's in the Shadow Realm. All right. Sir, I think we can help each other, actually. Me and my two associates here are a group of merchants traveling from the coast to the interior of the country. But we find ourselves in a bit of trouble. We've recently lost one of our mounts, so we're having to unload a lot of our wares as we go to try and increase our speed. Because of this, we saw your establishment, and we think we might have a product that would be very useful for you. I see you cater to extremely high-end and well-off clientele. Obviously, when they're having their measurements taken or they're trying on various suits, they need something to wet their whistle. What would be the better way of saying that? Whatever. And we just so happen to have something that could fill that function for you. And we can offer it to you at a discounted price.
I'm listening.
Well, we lost our mount in between Norwicksey and here, but we unloaded a large number of alcohol barrels, and we just so happen to have a few barrels of Norwicksey gold. And we had expected, obviously, to sell at the larger city. What is the city that's at the crossroads? The one that's like the next big one that's what is that called?
The next medium
Braston.
city is Braston, and then the biggest one nearby is, if you're going towards Lake Land, is Compound.
I'm gonna sell it at Braston or Compound on the way, but we're having to, like I said, unload some of our wares. So it's mostly just to pay for the trip. But we are wondering if you had any interest in such a deal.
We can, of course, bring you a sample so you can test the product itself.
What kind of discount are we talking?
I know whiskey gold normally goes for quite a hefty amount for a barrel,
Hey, it does.
but since you're being so gracious in hearing our proposal, we are willing to offer 10% off the entire barrel.
Roll me a persuasion check at advantage.
I'm going to use a... Oh, that was with advantage. Hold on. And I'm going to use a superiority die.
Even with advantage, Darius can't beat my persuasion with disadvantage. Yeah.
You still talked yourself into a spying charge. Just barely got out of that.
Because I rolled like a champ.
Doing the math on what these barrels should be worth, I think that guy took us for a bit of a ride.
Well, it's 1,000 if we can even make it out for the.
We got them for free. It's a pure profit.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just I was doing math. I'm like, I'm curious. Depending on what he said it was worth.
Yeah, I told you roughly how much this was worth. So, wanted to give you a ballpark of what you think you could make out of this. I'll taste it first.
All right. We're also. We didn't want to be too forward. We do have multiple barrels of this, so if you're willing to buy in bulk, multiple barrels.
You have one. You only have one barrel of Norwicksey gold.
Oh, we only have one. I thought.
Yeah.
We know what
Norwicksey
the next tier down is, just so we have a name for it.
We got the Norwicksey Gold, the
so
triple X, the double X, and the single X.
We also have several barrels of the double X, which is the next best thing.
You don't know
still.
what the names are. That's the thing. It's just they're marked with triple X, double X, and.
Well, I'm just selling it in whiskey gold because it's a high-end establishment. They're going to sell it on that name, so it's kind of one of those. You know, it's not a complimentary drink. It's a drink they're going to add on to the bill of the suit. So
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, why don't we have
And then
Braun go in?
He actually
Go in.
goes to behind, opens a cabinet, and actually pulls out a bottle of Norwicksey gold, and pours himself a little taste.
Does he do the really douchey thing as well? He just
Oh, yeah.
smells it before.
And is what he does. He only gets himself enough to put it on his finger and kind of gum it.
I hate this man. I hate the rich so much.
Well, you're about to be one.
I hate the rich
we're not.
so much, says the guy who just destroyed the communists.
Like I said, I'm mid-level, right in between.
Fucking Jacobin.
See,
He's
Darius
nobody.
is okay
He's
with the
very
rich.
petty.
Darius is okay with the rich. Roach hates those people. Just like, yes, undertones of almonds and vanilla. It's just like, it's fucking alcohol, man. I don't give a shit.
But
Just drink it.
okay, and then you bring him a taste, I'm guessing?
Yeah, Braun will go and get the barrel.
It's gonna be a bit more. It's a barrel, so I don't think we can actually get that kind of fine control out of the barrel. Out of the barrels.
You tap it and then you. Or
I don't know. It's like, do we have any Tinker Souls that comes with like an eyedropper?
I have the ability to turn any tool into any other tool, so yes.
He technically does.
Just
I have heard it is even better if you add a single drop of cold water to it. It breaks up the oils.
15% and you've got a deal.
15% of that would so that'd be
850.
850 per single barrel. It's not bad, and it's free. So, well, we'd be taking a small loss, but we need the space on our card.
Mm-hmm. Of
You have
course, if
yourself a
you've
deal,
got a
sir.
bill of sale. If not,
Of course, we can have a bill of sale written up between the Skyspan shipyards and your own business.
make a persuasion check.
Skill.
Suddenly we just get the reputation of being bootleggers. Like,
That would be an 18.
The Skyspan, you say?
They have a
Hey.
cousin working there.
That'll
What's his name?
work. Yeah, that'll definitely work. I didn't know you guys had links with the Skyspans. And if you would like,
We wouldn't be just selling the whiskey gold without having some.
no,
some backing.
obviously. Of course, yeah. That'll work. So they'll buy it for $850.
I will write up a Skyspan contract of sale.
Okay. You do so.
First closing, yeah.
And I need a calculator. And yeah, they take it off your hands.
1428.
1428. And they take it off your
Well,
hands
Zap, I think
and give you a small chest of the gold. They
You
do
know
it.
what frequently
we
has to
came
be
out on
math for a
top.
living.
They actually give it to you in trade bars, so it's like in like a small chest rather than single
Oh, well,
gold
these
coins.
can't be traced at all.
So each bar is worth 10 in this kind of how they work it.
It's quite normal in mercantile circles.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the drinks. and I
Latin.
hope it brings much business to you.
It's got
Okay.
paid in latinum strips.
And yeah, you make the sale, and I'm guessing you all regroup.
Gold
It's
press
probably-
flat.
Probably about
On the way, I
3
also want to
PM.
pick up another 30 pounds of coal.
Yep, you
Oh,
can do that. You can do that.
Just
How much it
replace
was,
the
was it?
spot. in the
I'm
cart
trusting
for
you
that.
to go through to deal with the coals, the fuel count that you need, etc.
Yeah, I've been
That's
keeping
fine.
track. Does anyone
Yeah, I
remember
don't
how much it
notice.
was sold for?
It was a gold for 20 pounds.
So, gold and a half.
You should write that in your log thing on your character sheet.
Yep. That's where I've been doing it.
Okay.
It is 5 more
The
days.
longer this campaign goes on for, the more Steph turns into a conductor in my head.
we just steadily add more and more stuff to the back.
I can sell
and,
you
like,
this really
the-
nice stripy hat. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got like stripy hat, coveralls. He's got a pocket watch. He's just reading.
Eventually, the train gets so long that we build a second engine and boiler and the second car for extra push. Like,
Pusher in the back.
small herd of triceratops as like.
Well, the second cart would be the cold cart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Technically, I already
When
have
you
that.
buy
I
in
need to
bulk,
sell-
it's cheaper.
You
We
guys
just need to sell
regroup.
all of the barrels before we move all the coal into that cart.
You guys regroup. A few barrels sold. It's about 3 p.m. What would you like to do with your day?
I think we should probably get out of here. It's probably
What would you like to do with your day? Leave.
Yeah. Get the fuck out, because I don't trust that tavern owner at all.
I will have told. What?
You
That's
didn't
what I
have a bill of sale. You should have
Oh.
said something. I could have written one up for you.
It was a spur of the moment thing, and well, we know for the future.
We do. And I will spend this evening
Fudge.
writing some bills of sale so that we have a paper
Is it
trail of transactions.
just have the number of barrels being sold in each bill, just
Do you-
blank until we fill it in.
Do you have proficiency with counterfeiters' tools?
Well, it's not counterfeit. I'm writing a legit bill of sale from Skyspan.
Okay, yeah, it's but also he was asking for purchase to make sure that these were legitimate purchases. of
I'm more
traders.
gambling on the fact that if they have a problem with Skyspan, I'll be like, take it up with my lawyers.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, you can start doing
This
some
won't come back
business
to
then.
backfire at all.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I do like how we had the most roundabout way to get on our trip so that nobody could track us, and now we're just going. We have
We're
the
leaving a
long-
little paper
we
trail.
we have a paper trail. We're in a fucking road train, and we've just killed just like 5 random people on the
D&D.
roadside.
Um,
Oh, you're looking for the guys who had the train with the Triceratops selling that counterfeit fucking beer? Yeah, no, they weren't here 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 27 seconds ago. 'cause-
Oh, you mean the criminal merchants that came through last night? Yeah, they went that way.
Started the fire at the warehouse down the road.
Yeah,
I didn't see a little girl, but I saw a lot of
Yeah.
booze.
yeah. They killed a whole bunch of hoodlums somewhere out
We
there.
So this is a point. As we are starting to sell the booze, I think it would be a good idea to send a message back to the individual who gave us this job and just tell him we did in fact stop the thieves and that we took some of the barrels as payment.
This would
Tell
be
him
fair.
where the warehouse is as well, so he can pick up the rest if he wants it.
But don't tell him. Don't waste a lot of spells telling him. Just kind of give him a rough approximation. We had to find it, so I mean,
That's
Follow the
I-
river down.
and Zedaar I'll go ahead and cast something and just say, I can't remember the guy's name, but says, "This is Zedaar. We stopped the thievery. Barrels were taken as payment. You are welcome."
Right, oh. Why was there theft tonight?
He's going to be upset he doesn't get another message.
Hello?
well,
Hello?
I fulfilled my function.
I don't hear the hellos
Hello?
because that's the end of the sending.
No, wait, he has 20 words. He has 20 words, so you then hear hello for the next... you hear a combination of, hello?
Very nice
Voice
guy.
in my
I would
head. Hello?
I would
Zedaar,
probably send
you've
a
done what you need.
no. Zedaar's a nice guy. I'll use the second sending and say, they were rebels trying to burn down your establishment as a protest for working lifestyle. It was very confusing.
It doesn't help at
Right.
You infiltrators in your working class. They're planning to bomb everything. Goodbye.
Right. Right. Okay. I'll interview the workers.
You should have told him the name, who it was.
We don't care. He's not a worker.
He wasn't a worker there.
Doesn't matter. You paint the blame on the guy, so it's not like.
I imagine
next
at this
time-
point, Zedaar would be like, "Oh wait, didn't Humphrey say there were 4 cells?" Oh shit!
Zedaar, you've done what you need. If they can't figure it out at that point, it's their fault. If anything, it'll make this alcohol worth more if that whole city burns to the ground. So
I feel like I have done a disservice rather than a service.
you've told him things. You've told him things. You're fine.
The idea was just to confirm that if they heard about people selling their booze, they know where it is being sold from.
Well, that's also something that's been done. So you did what you set out to do.
But you guys
Zedaar
continue
is just
on the
gonna go back
road.
to keeping watch.
You guys now continue down the road until you camp again for the night. Again, this time because you've entered another bit of forested territory, there has been like a campsite that's been cleared out. And in fact, there's a couple of other merchants there that are parked up, should you wish to stop there. Or you can try to find yourself a camp.
Should we avoid the merchants because we have quite literally stolen goods?
There were stolen goods. Now they are
There's-
legally in our possession.
That's not going to hold up in court.
I mean, we can't prove that. True.
Yeah, that's
But technically, they are legally in our possession.
we're quite literally forging bills of sale so that we can sell.
There is
it.
no forgery going on.
That is exactly what's going on.
Not forgery.
It's
No,
a bill of
that-
sales, just no
you-
bill
you-
of purchase.
Yeah, there's a bill of sale. There's just no bills of purchase, is what the thing is.
Yeah, why don't we'll pull up further away from those merchants, I think is the
So
better
you want to
option.
stay in this campsite or just skip it?
Skip. Yeah.
Okay, you skip it, and you find an area in the trees that seems like someone's used it as a camp before, but it's not an official campsite. But you find a place to stop nonetheless.
You know what we should have done? We should have gotten like tarps so that we could cover our goods on the wagons.
We
Yeah,
have
like
tarps.
The tarps that we
Yeah,
have.
but we're using those
use
to
this.
live.
Yeah, but it's
Dur-
nighttime.
During travel, during the time that's not nighttime, we can cover the booze with
Yeah.
those tarps.
Quite
Yeah,
easy.
but I'm saying is if we're gonna pull into if we're pulling into camps and stuff like that also have merchants because we're on the road and stuff, having our goods covered during the night would also be a good idea.
And next time we are in town, we should go to a tavern and find out the actual names of the other types of whiskey.
Yeah.
should probably drain a couple of bottles worth of each barrel or each type of barrel, and that way we can.
So you've got tasters.
So we got testers. What's this? The label fell off, and then they can tell us.
Does anyone have any bottles? I could possibly make them, but I do not right now.
That's another thing we'll have to buy.
I mean, has any of you drunk a healing potion recently?
We have Zedaar. We don't do healing potions.
I was that close in the last fight, but
Yeah,
then
you were.
you reminded me my class function is better. I didn't do that.
Okay. You can.
I would like to spend the evening writing some bills of sale for the barrels that we have got.
Are you doing any more enchantment of those wands that you started, or has have we switched production in this moving factory that you've built?
Well, my work was already done. I've given the wands to Ruby.
Can I try and
Ruby would be-
enchant one of the ones?
Take
With
it up
what?
with Ruby.
I,
We need the
Oh
enchanting
no,
material.
we
oh,
forgot.
I need the materials.
Oh, we forgot about that. We forgot
What?
to get the material so that we can enchant the boiler with silence.
We're more likely to get those materials in the big city.
Yeah, I don't want to spend that
but
any
we
more
could've- we
moment in
could've-
that
we could've-
town.
Yeah, that
it's
town
just-
was getting pretty
It was
hot.
more. We just forgot to check. That was something we were supposed to remember to do. So don't forget that when we get into the next town.
We've had stolen goods that town. We need to clear out. Just-
They're not stolen.
Yeah, I'm telling you, no
If people
law
ask where they come
enforcement.
from, we have a literal trail. It's like, yeah, no, we received them as payment for goods and succeeding in adventuring from the town of Norwicksey. You go there and you ask them, they can confirm. Yeah, no, those barrels, they were given to them.
All right.
They were allowed to be taken.
Right.
If
Right,
you are
Zedaar,
able to,
and here's the hypothetical return to that. Okay, prove it.
if you are able to speak to them again, see if you can get a reference number so that they can check.
Zedaar is just
So you
gonna-
gotta
We have the name. We have the name.
Zedaar's just gonna stare at you like, could
Hold
you
on, I'm
write
gonna
it
call
down
the
for
brain.
me. I will send the message tomorrow.
Contact him in the middle of his inquisition against the working class tomorrow.
So we have additional information. Also, can we have a sales number so that if
If
they
you
do
could
check, I can
put-
go back to them?
If you could put that in the a statement of 25 words or less, I will be sure to get that for him.
Okay, so I'm going to do a guild artisan thing because Mordred doesn't know how this works. How would long distance transactions like that work? There must be a way of doing it.
You could do it through
A bill
banks
of purchase.
and a bill of
There you go.
purchase and sale. You could probably get a bank to authorize it. Yeah, there'd be a way. However, we'll get to that when you make the message. But yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say
but you
there is
feel
one
comfortable
issue I'm noticing.
counterfeiting?
And the fact that the issue I'm noticing is I doubt they have this information readily available. I will likely have to send a second message to get it from them.
Yeah, and my problem is that if we get like accosted and say, "Where's your bill of purchase for all of this large amounts of alcohol? That looks suspiciously like alcohol that's been getting recently stolen from trade." They're not going to have the ability of messaging that person. That is our contact, which gave us the right to have it. Which he probably, now that I think about it, he probably would have given us like a bill of purchase or bill of sale. That would have been proof that this was
We are
legally
only
ours.
1 and a bit towns away. We could always turn around and go back.
I don't think it's good for us to go back through that town. At this point,
If we
feel
had
less-
one or two and a fast horse, then sure, but no.
If
Not
only
the
we
whole
had gone
train.
back to
Not the whole train.
Norwicksey the first time when we wished to purchase the cart.
Or here's a theory. Zep.
Game theory.
The game. Fuck you. Zep. Do you know what a bill of sale looks like? Our bill of purchase? Whatever the bill of sale,
of
what that
course
looks
I do.
like? Okay.
Mhm.
Can you make one? Just a fake
That's what
one?
I'm saying. I am making one on behalf of Skyspan. The problem is we do not have the connection between the breweries and then their sale to Skyspan.
Make it up.
I am not going to make this kind of thing up. This is against the rules. It is the rules that the entire basis of mercantile trade.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, lawful neutral. Make it up. Fuck it.
It's technically we're legally okay, technically, but we have to make a proof, and it's not.
Yeah, which
it's
is why I am comfortable making the bills on sale on behalf of Skyspan. But it is the connection before that that we do not have, which is more difficult to get.
Could we just get something that gives reference from him that says we were in fact trusted with this as payment for
If we
is
were still
completing a
there.
job?
By the reference number, but there needs to be some way of confirming this. Which is what a bank could do.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Ron Swanson thing. Yeah, no, I have a permit. Ron, this just says I can do what I want in your own handwriting. It's that's the equivalent of what we're trying to do right now.
Love
I
this
mean,
one.
they have to be able to check one way or the other, because otherwise, what's the purchase of the bill of purchase?
Well, that's the
Like-
bill of sale. It's a codified bill that says we sold this to this merchant, and they could look. Okay, so the goods you have on your cart you bought from this person. This looks like they'll probably have like a stamp or a seal or something that would codify that, or maybe a customs house would have that inside the town.
I wonder,
There'd be
it is a brewery, and breweries often own taverns. Whether there would be a brewery-owned tavern in one of the cities we are visiting, they could verify.
think the problem I think all of us are having trouble understanding the fact long distance communication is very difficult in this
I
in
realize.
this world.
I will
Uh.
add another thing to this. Just
Please
for
don't. We're already having
extra-
trouble.
For just extra clarification. You don't know if the guard will definitely, or the constabulary member was gonna tell the barrels were found, and it was more of a thing of take the barrels, or say they weren't found.
Okay, so this is stolen. This is just stolen. We have no confirmation.
Oh,
This is
well,
still
now
good.
Zedaar has already sent a message.
I sent the message that they found them and that we got
That
the
we
barrels.
He's
We
okay with
took
it.
'em.
They didn't have a way to pay you guys, and he was trying to think of a way to pay you guys.
Yeah. So, Okay.
Everybody taking an alignment shift towards evil.
Oh, well, no, it would just be it would just be chaotic. It would go. It would drop one because now we are literally dealing in stolen goods, or at least like quasi stolen.
It's a gray area. It's a gray area.
Yeah.
It's
We need to
salvage.
find a fence.
Can we
We need to
just-
find a fence.
Can we just go to bed and worry about this another time?
Yeah.
So what
we
are the
three
rules on
groups, please
salvage? This is something a shipyard would know.
Not sure.
It's not
Maritime
salvage,
salvage
Zep. We
says-
quite literally forced the man on sword point to show us where his stuff was.
It was his stuff.
Look, it's
But
pirating
it
a pirate piracy. Like that's where the line
Yes!
comes down.
Yes, it's still piracy. That's still legally piracy.
Yeah, legally, yes.
Well, then let's just get rid of all of
morally,
it.
less.
Let's just set it on fire. We
No,
got
no,
money out of
I won't get paid for it still.
it. Yeah.
However,
Star mumbles to himself about, I wanted to take it back to see if they would give us a reward, but no!
so shift one, give me your perception checks. The camp has been set up. Is there anything else anyone would like to do in camp? There's possible enchantment that could be done. And
Teaching.
teaching. You want to do some teaching? Sure thing.
I'm spending more time with Darcy, just continuing to try
Absolutely.
and improve my relation with both the animal and my ability to,
Mhm.
relate to animals.
Should I roll an intelligence check for the teaching at the end of the day?
Please do.
Okay.
Beth, are you doing anything? Sorry, Ruby, are you doing anything?
I mean teaching, but I think otherwise she's pretty well occupied. So enchanting
Okay.
wands.
Sure thing. What do you want to enchant them with?
Oh, let's do. How many can I do?
Depends what you're trying to enchant. The quality was medium, and it will come down to your Arcana checks. And like I said, if it's a spell where there isn't a already established component to cast it, you'd need to buy enchanting components from some sort of provider of that.
I have hair in my mouth. Yeah.
To
That's not a
essentially lace the runes in the wand with the spell more long term
Right.
than one singular cast.
Do you think at some point she could look for licorice root?
Licorice root. You can definitely give me a nature check to try and find.
Are we
some.
looking for it? Would that be survival?
Nature or survival? I'll allow you either. You're in a forested area right now.
All right. They're both the same for me, I guess. Come on, let me roll. Thank you. That's a 3. Nope. Unfortunately, I don't think
this area doesn't really have any plants that you can see very easily, at least.
Sure. She'll probably try to make another wand of fireball. Away from the thing. The battle wagon.
This will use up the rest of the components, I believe, that
Sure.
you bought for it. But yeah, go for it. Give me an Arcana check.
It was almost a 20. 12.
Okay. Give me another Arcana check. Sorry. I need 3. It's 1 for each hour of the spell.
That's a natural 20. And
That's a
another natural
second.
20.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Whilst the first levels of the enchantment it doesn't start to stick, you correct your problem, and after 3 long hours, you enchant another wand of fireballs.
Is it better than the first one?
It's
9 charges, each fireball costs 3.
it's the same as the last one. However, this one would give the person of attunement a +1.
It's a +1 wand.
Yeah, it's a +1 wand.
I'll be taking that and attuning to it.
Can I duplicate the record?
And Ruby is a badass. So guys, I have a wand we can sell. Wand of fireball. Probably would go for quite a bit of money, and she'll just wave it around a little bit.
Ah, I can.
Keep that away from Kurt, please.
It's fine. It's not
Don't
gonna
wave
go
that
off.
as much.
It's you who know nothing about magic. Shut up. It will not go off.
Hold on. Let me get this edited up.
The point is, a wand of fireballs is worth quite a bit of money.
I know enough about magic to know that it's
No, you don't.
uncontrollable enough that you keep setting fire to ships.
That's
I
not-
know enough about Fireball that it is incredibly dangerous. I saw those pixies disintegrate. They disintegrated.
Wands don't just go off. It is not
I
as
can-
unstable as black powder.
Ooh,
Sorry,
gotta put the
Zep.
safety on.
Like,
Darius, please. That's not how magic works. I feel like I can be the meeting point between magic and fighting. I can explain to Ruby how you fight. I can explain to you how you Ruby magics. That's not how she magics.
I can see the wheels turning. He's trying to find an argument.
No, I was more thinking about if I was going to be very,
What's the
Be
next level of
constructive to
rarity
his
up from very rare?
but
What's the level of
Hmm?
rarity above very rare?
Legendary.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
It's not that.
Common,
crafts-
uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary.
There's
Yeah.
only 5 tiers.
Ruby crafts an artifact.
off.
What?
no, there's another one because isn't unique also a tier? Because there could just be unique.
Artifacts are legendary items that are a tier of their own. But they're technically still just legendary items.
In
I
this case,
believe
it
this
basically
is
would just
classed
be, it would be
as
Wand of the
bitchin'.
War Mage +1 with charges of fireball thrown into it.
It's not Wand of the War Mage, because Wand of the War Mage does other things, like avoids cover.
Technically, fireball also does.
Well,
Just
yeah,
call it one plus
yeah.
one.
Technically, so does fireball.
It's just a Wand of Fireball +1. But
You
I
don't
was
have
wondering
power,
if I was wondering if there was a extra level so it'd be easier to think. I don't know if this is going to denote it actually adding a +1 to stats when attuned.
Yes, I
hope
know
it
you're
does.
both hungry. Dinner is not ready yet. Get out of here. It is not dinner time.
Oh, isn't Wondrous?
Wondrous
level?
is a classification where it doesn't fall into like weapon, armor, or other things. It's more like it's a miscellaneous item.
Miscellaneous, yeah.
Right.
Deck of many things.
To be honest, 5th edition's magic item system is basically non-existent in terms of like usability. It's kind of
It's very simplified.
But yeah, you make
there's
a
no prices for anything for
exceedingly
most
decent
stuff.
one.
It's like goes everywhere.
This party is going to be flush with cash should you find sellers, essentially.
This is classed as a bitchin' item.
Yeah.
Technical term for it.
But
It's a item.
Group 1 has given me their perception. Group 2, give me your perception for the Night's Watch.
It's not. I'm standing firm at watch 3. That's what
Oh well, whoever's with me then. Or are we going with?
me and you are going 3.
I'll
And
go.
then it's Zepp and Braun. I think
Alright.
we're watch 2 because they're.
See, the issue is you fucked off, and we didn't have anyone to, remind
Remember?
us. Yeah, exactly. Look,
There's a whole section in the party sheet for watch order.
We've never
Yeah.
used.
I didn't watch it. I didn't look at it. I didn't remember it was there because I got bad memory.
And it's
Was
never
that
been
the-
used.
Yeah, Zep, this would be at disadvantage because it's dead of night.
I have night vision.
Oh, you've got
I
night.
know.
The watch order has you in second.
But you got to put numbers.
Feel free.
Okay.
17 and 11.
At night,
Well,
there's
Midge would
you
have to
come
do
across
that.
the faint howl of wild animals, but nothing seems to be getting close to your camp. You think the lights and the even though you guys are mostly asleep, the noise, the animals, is the wild animals aren't getting close to you guys. Not at the moment. Final watch.
During, before I go to sleep when it's getting dark, and also when I'm doing my watch, can I be looking out for bats?
Okay.
And liquor
Yes.
fruit, please.
Sure, but that bat's generally up and liquor shoot generally down.
Your
But
next
I'm
gets
looking
tired
out for bats
eventually.
because I want to kill one.
You can try.
So perception. Ha!
And give me. So what we've learned today is Valmy has to roll at the same time as Darius. It's a competition that gets his dice to work.
He's good when it's a competition.
And
I could add
can
a
you give me?
superiority die. I think.
Can
to
you
at
give
least
me
one
a
of those.
survive? Can you give me a survival or nature check to try and find bat?
I'm better at nature.
You managed to
Nothing
find
in nature.
you managed to
I know.
spy a bat in a tree, probably 90 feet from camp.
90 feet. 90 feet. How?
What are you doing?
Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'm going to shoot it with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I have a bow and
Roll
arrow.
to attack.
Shut
If
up.
you need it, if you need it in attack.
Roll to attack. Roll to attack.
I'm going to fire both bolts at the same time.
Okay.
Because it's me! And if I miss, it's going to fly away!
Okay.
That
So
bat's this big.
Don't care. Don't care.
you're shooting a bat with 2 barrels of an elephant gun. Go for it.
What bat?
All right, one of them is a 26.
Jeez, does one of them miss because the first one evaporates it so completely
Roll
that there's
damage.
nothing left to hit?
A bat has 3 HP. Roll damage.
There's no way he can fail.
12.
Plus 4.
Can I go over to where it died?
If you can find it.
Or what's left of bits of it.
Yeah.
A bat's mostly
Give me a
made
perception
of
check.
skin and gristle.
Can
You
I,
did 4 times more damage than it has hit points. So
what do I roll to find it?
Give me a perception check. Or an
Luck.
investigation check.
You pray.
I'm letting
You
the
find
dice
it.
decide.
You find the elf woman again. You have slain the noble bat.
19.
You find its wings.
Do bats' wings have fur on them?
A
No.
little bit.
That's
No,
that's
they
the one
don't.
place they don't.
But it's like, am I seeing just like the skinny bit, or am I seeing like the arm bit of the wing?
You've got a little bit of socket, yes.
Do I have any fur, bat fur?
How much bat? What are you looking for bat fur for?
Because it is a component, and it
Right.
just says some bat fur.
Give me a nature check.
You find one hair. It's enough.
Oh my god, I'm on fire!
You find a little way from the first glance of the corpse. You find some of the rest of the body, and in the roadkill, you do find a strip of fur.
Sick,
Sizzling
lovely.
in the
I'm taking that.
Okay. Okay. But with the night done, you all arouse. You begin to
Why?
pack up camp again, and
What did it do to you?
yeah, the
I
road
needed some
is
bat
your.
fur!
The road is yours.
Karmically, that's very bad for you, Lambert, because bats eat mosquitoes.
I know, and there's one in my room, and I'm fucking shit.
Exactly.
I am more scared of mosquitoes than Valmyra's water, and there is one in my room.
But yes, I need travel checks from the 2 of you that are manning your posts, and we get on.
I would like to be on the cart somewhere, and I would like to try enchanting one of the
Come on.
wands.
There isn't
That engine has
room
failed
enough on
more
the
than it's
cart
succeeded.
for you
Even
to be
minus
enchanting.
4 barrels.
You've only, yeah. The thing is, enchanting will require you to essentially set up a table
Okay.
and
And a bear-
space.
Barrels can't be tables.
You want him to
As you
enchant
there.
next to your barrels? Be my
I'm
guest. What spell are you
You know-
trying to do?
Dark.
That's a good point. Oh,
Okay. It is.
that doesn't seem like that would be bad, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe you should wait.
Can we just clarify that the party funds that we've made have all been transferred into Zedaar's, the party funds that Zedaar carries, so that if this explodes, it's not in the cart and just
Sure.
raining gold coins through the sky with
I'll allow
trade
it.
bars.
if it explodes.
That's a good way of getting a revolution going right now. All the peasants in the fields just it's raining money.
I'll wait until nighttime if you're I'm getting that DM warning vibe from you. So,
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna do a little bit of metagaming and say, you know what, yeah, I'll wait.
Okay.
That's
Valmir
almost
sits
the same
down
as a
and then
parent
goes,
warning.
No,
Are you sure you want to do that?
as
can
well as
certainly
you're
try.
rolling right now. Perhaps not. Anyway,
I think we should get into the point of if we see Valmir starting to do something like that, we probably just like everybody's just gonna like just no.
No magic near the booze.
and just to expedite this a little further,
The coal
By-
boiler, totally fine.
by the end of today, you make it to Braston.
The engine hasn't even been on for 2 days. It keeps failing.
No, it's been on. It's just it's
Yeah,
not been.
It's been shit.
It's
And
been
the incredible invention of the, the cabbage on a pole has done a wonder for Darcy's morale.
It's been amazing. It's working
it has.
exactly as intended.
And you guys reach Braston. Are you camping in the town? Are you what's the play here? You look at this town, and also the main trade road, which is a well-maintained 3-lane, like essentially 3-cart width road, goes straight through the heart of this town. It is well situated between farms. There is a lot of businesses here, and you guys, before you reach Braston, you see the traffic on the trade road, and it is a busy influx.
So if we can find tarps to put over our goods while we're camping,
I
think we're good.
thinking this was a good idea.
You
So
would
what are we
definitely be
actually doing with the barrels then? Because if there's anywhere with a bank, it would be here.
I don't know if we should go to. I don't think that's gonna help. I think we need to find, because it's gonna be here, and I hate to say it, an illicit tradesman dealing in under the table goods, because that's going to be the one that causes us the least amount of trouble, funnily enough.
I know underground tradesmen, but not under table tradesmen. That must be your job.
Shh, it's okay, Mel. It's okay. It's a turn of phrase. A turn of phrase.
Remember, common isn't my first language.
Yes, no, I understand idioms are hard to translate. Actually, they don't translate at all.
Are you
really.
calling me an idiot?
But if there's anything you guys need, this will be one of the first places to check. Braston is a reasonably sized town on a major trade road.
Once
So-
again,
Does anybody
Ruby
go first.
Ruby's gonna be going to the news.
Okay, Ruby, you okay? Darius, what are you doing?
Has anybody ever dealt in illegal goods?
Apparently, all of us.
I mean, God damn it.
You're not wrong.
No, technically
I'm
he's correct. Before this week, has anybody ever dealt in illegal
I'm
goods?
going to make some rolls here.
Please stop.
And Patrick puts his hand up.
Patrick, really?
Oh, my cousin's a miller.
Oh, you.
That makes
You-
sense.
You've played.
We know how those millers go. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Pickpockets, a lot of them. All right, you come with me, and I guess we'll.
So what we need to do
Find
is
a
find a
fence.
miller. No, we need to find a miller.
Actually, that's. Yes. 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 We do. Every miller knows every other miller, and they're all criminals. That's what we know.
So here's the question: can Midge do a Bohemian accent or Czech accent?
To be fair, that game didn't even do that well.
I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with ruining accents of the British Isles and then fancy land
And French and German.
French,
Yeah, it's
German.
the French and the Germans. Like they lost.
Okay.
I kid. I mean, just like, I mean,
He has to give up the losing.
I respect the Czechs too much.
They lost.
But not the
too.
French.
Like, yeah, they were the
Those lost the
Austro-Hungarians and they
revolution.
lost.
They made the Bren. Anyway, no.
That's the level. That's the level.
Yep.
All of these jokes aside, I could probably give it a go. But anyway,
That's gonna be his weekend homework.
so Darius, you're going to find a miller.
I'm gonna find a fence. If it so happens to be a miller,
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, fine. How are you going about finding a fence? Not being a criminal yourself.
I have Patrick,
Oh, okay, you're going to use
Who's-
Patrick. Fine.
whose job depends on this.
Okay.
His life depends on
Incentive
it.
and everything. Zedaar, what are you doing?
I guess I'm stuck watching the card again because we need
Don't have
somebody
to,
to keep an
but-
eye on the booze.
You're very intimidating.
Okay. Valmir?
I've pretty much proven myself as an expert salesman, so I am going to not do that, and I'm going to try and enchant a wand within sight of the cart, but like away from the cart.
In the
The
in the
alley.
town. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And
Alley nearby,
Zep,
shielded.
what are you doing?
I will spend some time with the cart, making sure the engine actually freaking works this time, and reinforcing the second cart, which had a bit of a dodgy connection.
Yeah, sure. Give me some artifice checks from you. Darius, give me
Impact
two
wrench
d20
noises for
rolls from
TD
Patrick.
2d20s.
You managed to improve the connections, Zep, without costing yourself extra material. You just refine the sockets, etc. Darius, you and Patrick stumble across a couple of alleys until you reach the back door of a butcher's. Patrick knocks the door twice with it seemed to be like a coded knock. Seems to be a coded knock. And then a metal slat opens on the butcher's. What you looking for, son? He goes, we're looking for someone to take on some items. Oh, yeah? What kind of load are we talking? How many barrels do we want to sell, boss?
I don't know. Highball it, say 30. We'll see how much. We'll see if they can take on extra or if they're only looking for a certain amount. Yeah, 30.
And he starts speaking in a string of words that sound like common, but you do not understand the meaning at all. And the gentleman behind the door also starts and goes, there's like this weird sort of common slang using replacement words and the such and the like. And then finally, Patrick turns to you and goes, there is a hill outside of town with a well on it. To meet a man there at midnight who might buy all the goods.
Right? Does that sound like, since apparently you're a criminal mastermind, does that sound like a trap, or does that sound legit?
I sold stolen pheasants. This is a bit big game for me, but I'm trying.
You're speaking thieves' cant. I may not understand it, but I understand what it is.
No, thieves' cant is purely a symbolic language. That's something different.
Exactly. That's exactly what a thief would say, Patrick. Yeah. Tell him, okay, we'll meet maybe, I guess, somebody there. Somebody there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's that set up. Ruby, as our last act for this evening, then, give me a persuasion check to see if you can get anything out of the locals. And is there anything you're specifically looking for in terms of conversation? I think you're muted.
Is there a war going on or about to happen? What's the tension level right now between the Reanian Empire and the Eladrin Empire, as usual? Is there anything out of Retbury outside of a missing / dead ambassador?
Mm-hmm.
Where can one procure magic items and sell magic items?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the best places to stable, house, and repair carts and equipment?
Okay. So, starting with that one, there is a carter's rest in town. There's a very well-trafficked and stocked one that deals with trade caravans all the time. While there isn't a magic shop in town, there is a market day tomorrow where a lot of traders will normally stop. There isn't an outright war just yet, but tensions are extremely high, the highest they've probably been in 20 years. And with that role, you even hear that apparently infighting between some of the gangs of Retbury is kicking off, and in fact, people have started fleeing Retbury itself, which is placing a lot of pressure and havoc on a lot of the Huskarls that were going to the front, because some of them are now being reordered to go to Retbury, because this is the most violence that's happened there in many, many years.
Okay.
It's getting... Basically, the air is, and the rumor is on the trade route, is that things are starting to destabilize, and as such, there's a lot more traders coming from moving towards the capital than there are going out of the capital region.
Okay.
So they're gonna start seeing less supplies coming from the western half of the empire.
That is the news I will then relay to the punk party when we all reconvene.
And Lambert, we will get onto your enchantment next time, so make a note of it for me. But with that, we are going to end the episode there. For once, not on a cliffhanger, as the party rearrange.
You say that, but we're about to make a wand of darkness. That's pretty cliffhanger.
Actually, to be fair, we will leave it on the cliffhanger of Valmir trying to enchant like his friends. Quick note is that I forgot to actually mention this to the cast members. I can't be here next week. I had something come up today, so I will not be here next week. So we're going to take a bye week. So we will be back in 2 weeks' time. Should nothing else crop up. But we hope you've all enjoyed this episode. And as always, thank you to Commissar Roach, Mordred Viking, Lord Lambert, DM Opal, and DM Lake for playing. I've been Midgeman. This has been the Component Cast, and you've been watching the Elendor Chronicles. And we'll see you next time, friends. Bye-bye now.
Turtles.
Bye.